today on Divorce Court.
I am here today because me and my wife are currently separated. I decided that it was time to get me and my wife financially stable. She thought it was time to get a girlfriend.
He decided that he was going to leave our relationship at a very important moment, and I'm not ready to be back with him yet.
She's not hearing me. I need somebody to help me so that she can understand that I was just trying to make our family better.
If Angel doesn't change, we are going to have to make our separation permanent.
Divorce Court is now in session.
I'm here today with Mr. C. Angel Torres and Ms. Kia Torres. The two of you have been married for 2 years, and you are currently separated. You are trying to get this thing back together so hard you don't know what to do.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to, though. We'll get to that momentarily, but why don't you tell me a little bit about how you met and how you got together, and then we'll talk about how we got here.
Okay. Well, me and my wife, Akia, we met the summer of 2008. She was speaking at a Women's Against Violence conference. I was sitting in the audience. We both worked at nonprofit organizations that were ally organizations almost. She worked with children in schools, and I worked at an LGBT organization. It was like the skies parted the day we met. I can't even explain it any other way. That particular moment, we didn't get to speak because I was in the audience with my girlfriend at the time. The next day, we ran into each other again. It was another conference. I just happened to be lucky enough to be sitting right next to her. I was at a table, she was at a table. We were supposed to be working that day. We didn't get any work done. We just spent about 7 hours just talking. And I never felt like somebody really knew me until that day. It can sound mushy or whatever, but that's how I felt.
Mush is good in the beginning. Mush is very good.
It was a story out of the fairy tale books. Like, I don't know why we're here right now.
Okay. Do you know why we're here right now?
Yes, I do.
Why don't you tell me why we're here right now?
So I'm here because he left me with my family, and it was a very bad abusive situation. I don't think he should have left me, but he left. Like, he left. Like, he didn't come back. Like, see you in a second, and didn't come back.
He packed up and rolled.
He packed up and rolled, and we had just had a talk about separating. So for me, we just separated. That's what just happened.
What were the obstacles you guys were facing
Just
at the
my
time?
family. I mean, like, my family, my friends. I mean, a lot of people's opinions, a lot of other people who aren't here to say anything about themselves, obviously.
There's so many people that don't want us together right now.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't accepting of the transgender community. A lot of people don't understand that just because you identify a certain way that that's who you are, but that's the truth. I am who I am. And there is some aggression in regards to the fact that they feel like because I'm not black, I can't understand, or like I'm, breaking the race or something like that. But I'm Puerto Rican, Your Honor. I don't know if you know anything about, being Puerto Rican, but you can't make a Puerto Rican without African blood. So it's almost like a conversation I don't even want to have with them, because I understand the struggle of racism in this country, but I'm not doing anything but loving this woman. And you will not. You won't hate me for that.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. Here's the part that I want you to clarify for me.
Okay.
Once you moved into the house with her family, why did you leave?
At the time, I felt like I was the reason that we were struggling. It was my fault that it isn't my fault that we lost our home, but, it was...
Why do you think it was your fault because you were struggling? What happened?
Well, we were foster parents for a while. My family members felt like we weren't good foster parents, or for whatever reason thought I shouldn't be taking care of children. But the state, they do background checks and they check all these things beforehand. But my family members thought it was their right to say something. They weren't happy with where they were. They made a phone call. They weren't even in the state with me. And DCFS doesn't play that, Your Honor. If you get one phone call, you're getting an investigation. I was working with an agency. They weren't going to leave the house empty, for a month while, DCFS figured it out. I had no choice but to, end that opportunity, and that caused us so much hardship. We had to go back to Vegas because of that. That was the second time we had to be in her mother's house. I was tired of her fighting.
Yeah, you left because you were so unwelcomed and it was so difficult on both, not only you, but her.
Yeah, like I was really just thinking about my
Did you
wife.
understand that?
No, they
Mrs.
were very
Torres?
mean. My family is black supremacists. They're like, you know, the kind that believe that we should keep the bloodline clean and like crazy stuff because nobody, like black people don't have a real bloodline. Like there's a lot of mixed stuff in there. But they believe that segregation was a lie and that we shouldn't have desegregated and all this extra stuff.
And then the fact that I'm trans doesn't make it any
And they
easier.
hate that, like they mispronoun him. It was very unbearable, but because of that, I felt like he would have took me with him as opposed to like, you
See,
stay
that's
there,
the part I cannot say.
I'm gonna go back here.
Just hang on with me for a minute. I get people in who have said, I broke camp for her or for him because it was so difficult. But isn't breaking camp making it more difficult for the person who remains?
I feel like I was getting punished.
I completely understand that, Your Honor, but I had watched my wife cry many nights. I had watched that struggle get really hard for both of us. I had watched her have breakdowns because of the way that her family would treat me, the fights that she had to have with them for me. I didn't know what to do, Your Honor. I've never been married before. I hope to never be married again. Like, this is...
You want this to be it.
Yeah, this is
but
what I'm
you
learning.
thought that if you left, they'd get off her back.
At least in regards to me, like whatever they thought in the moment, I knew I had every intention of coming back. We had just had a conversation, like she was trying to say that we were just talking about separation. I wasn't saying that I was leaving. I was saying it's hard for two people. It's hard for us and our dogs to find stability when we're constantly asking that from people who aren't trying to help us.
Okay,
You know?
I got what you're saying, because a whole lot happened to you guys, and I want to make sure that we understand all of it that happened.
I took a month. I got a job. I have an apartment that I'm moving into on the 1st.
And
that
you
I'm
ready to take her
trying to
with
bring
you.
my wife back home, Your Honor. This is what I did all this for. What am I supposed to do?
But if he left for all that time without talking,
Not even that long.
I don't even know what he was doing.
Now, I understand when he left, things went from bad to worse. Why don't you tell me what happened?
Tell her about you dating somebody else.
What happened was I thought my relationship was over. I didn't have anyone to confide in. There was
Like
an
2 weeks
extreme...
after I was
Mr.
gone?
Torres,
I'm gonna
please.
finish the story first. There was an extreme loneliness in being left in a place you don't want to be. So there was somebody around and things just naturally progressed. I didn't like go on like OkCupid or like eHarmony and make a profile.
You didn't go looking for
I
something,
didn't look
it just
for
happened.
something. Yeah, I felt like it just kind of landed in my lap. It was a really good person and I like her. I mean, she's pretty cool. She's pretty cool.
Had you intended to return?
I had every intention of returning.
Did you talk to her about it and tell her you had an intention of returning?
Well, see, that might have
No.
been.
That's a no.
I admit where that's
Yeah,
where
that's a no.
I admit where that was where my mistake was, but I still don't feel like that's justification for you to go out and find somebody else so fast. Like I love for the past 5 years, 6
Now,
years.
Mr. Torres, let me tell you something. You can't just get up and walk off on your spouse, not tell them what your intentions are, and let them believe that,
you're gonna come back.
that you're not coming back.
But I've never had any, like, I mean, this is the first time I've been married, Your Honor, but I've never
But
had
you don't
somebody
have
move
to
on.
be married to know you can't just leave your spouse and not tell them that you're coming back. You just can't just walk off.
I completely agree with that, Your Honor, but she wouldn't have let me go. Right now, I'm in the best position to take care of my family, and I'm just here trying to beg for that back. Like, whoever this girl is, whoever she's seeing now, has nothing on the history that we have, and I'm not sure.
Are you still seeing her?
Yeah.
But do you want them both? Do
Yeah,
you want
yeah,
him
yeah.
instead? Do you want her instead?
Can I have them both?
Well, hey, that's not up to me.
He's not okay with that. He feels that anyone else would interrupt our focus on fixing our problems. But I don't think you get to come back, out the closet, like, hey, go ahead, move over with that. I'm gonna sit right here. Like, things have been happening since you've been gone, and we have to respect those things. So for me, it's not about just leaving somebody on the curb who's been there for me when he wasn't. But if I could have them both, then I like my cake and ice cream.
Do you think that, given all the two of you have been through together, that you might want to give your marriage another try?
I don't think he has a right to, first of all, to come out of the woodworks and say, be with me and not this person.
It hasn't even been that long, though.
It's been long enough.
How long were you gone?
I left her in June, Your Honor. What is it?
July. We're coming up on the end of August, like 2 months.
Yeah, but
now,
we've had
Mrs.
communication
Torres,
since then.
really?
3 weeks
That's
ago.
60 days.
And 3 weeks ago, I just reached out to her.
How deeply could you be involved with this other person in 60 days?
It's not about being, it's not about being deeply involved. It's about honoring the fact that she's been there at a time where I needed someone to be there and he was not. I don't think that he gets to just end that, like it's not, like, I mean, it's not that serious, but it's not serious.
But
it's somebody I've been talking to, I care about
But
this
if
person.
if it's a choice though, right now, between me or them, it sounds like you can't make one. I don't, like, that doesn't work for me. I
don't know what to tell you.
Were we not in the same marriage for all those years?
We
Like
both were there.
This is how I feel about it. When we have these conversations, because she's acting like I've been gone for so long. I took a month. I got a job. I have an apartment that I'm moving into on the 1st.
And
that
you
I'm
ready to take her
trying
with
to bring
you.
my wife back home, Your Honor. This is what I did all this for. What am I supposed to do?
But if he left for all that time without talking,
Not even that long.
I don't even know what he was doing.
He was wrong to leave without talking, but he really loves you over there.
I love
Look at
him too. I agree.
You don't love nobody talking like that, for real.
Okay.
You don't love nobody.
I care vastly about the relationships that I'm in, and I love my husband. But I think that he reneged his right to say anything about what I'm doing right now when he decided to leave without contact.
Well, I'm going to disagree with you in a moment.
I would never put anybody before her. I haven't put anybody before her. You think that was long time for her? I have not had sleep in months, you know, because I haven't had her next to me.
You abandoned me.
Do you think Kia should forgive Angel for leaving her? Tell us what you think at facebook.com/Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. If you would like your case to be heard on Divorce Court, call us toll-free at 1-877-311-2222 or log on to our website at divorcecourt.com. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Divorce Court. Are you looking to have a polyamorous relationship? Do you think that is a solution to the problem that you have?
I think it is a very good solution.
That's not my solution, Your Honor. If that's like we had talked about that for something in the future, but what she's doing right now is being emotionally involved with somebody. What we had talked about was about her being sexually involved with other women and it not being this long-term thing.
Emotional, meaningful
attachment.
relationship.
Like all you're saying right now, like, belittles everything that I've. Like, I don't even understand how 60 days could make such a big difference on so long, Your
It's
Honor.
not the length, and I wish people would stop thinking that it is. Because if I punched him in the face right now, it doesn't matter how long I punch him for, I punched him. Do you see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't matter how long this happened, it happened. And we have to figure out how to resolve the fact that it happened. You can't just say you're sorry and take back all that time.
But it's not even about
No.
Did you guys talk at all during
We haven't really talked.
That's not.
Texting is not talking. You don't text somebody about this stuff.
Your Honor, that's not how it happened.
What do you say happened?
I say that we didn't talk for about a month. And I spent that month looking for a
without
job,
knowing anything?
looking for housing, okay? And then I did contact her, like, when I sat down with her and she was helping me get my stuff, I was like, we're gonna be okay, we're gonna figure this out. And that's when I find out she was already with somebody else. It was like, I didn't even have a choice in it. All I was trying to do was fix my family, and it's like, I can admit where I was wrong, Your Honor. I'm the first guy to say, hey, I did this wrong, I'm ready to make it right, what can I do to make it right? But what I will not do is just, like, listen to her talk about somebody else like they're more important than me, like the past 6, 7, no, because that's what it is. Because I would never put anybody before her. I haven't put anybody before her. I haven't, you think that was long time for her? I have not had, like, sleep in months, you know, because I haven't had her next to me. I haven't.
You abandoned me.
You kind of did, and I feel for you both so much because I think I know why you did what you did. You didn't do it in the right way, and I feel bad for you because if my husband just up and walked off and I didn't know if he was coming back and I didn't know where he was, didn't know anything. That's like a knife to the heart. Are you still mad? That might be a little bit of what it is. Are you still, like, kind of giving him the business about it? Is that part of it?
I mean, The way I feel about it is, like I said, I think he reneged his right to kind of come in all forcibly demanding things change to fit his idea of what we're supposed to be doing right now.
Was he demanding? Or was
that
he,
I leave her.
Was he, or was he asking?
An ultimatum is usually a demand. That's usually a demand. You can't get around that.
He gave you an ultimatum.
Yeah,
is
that's
that
a demand.
true?
She can't have both. When we first got married, we had already talked about this because it was very clear to me that she likes female-bodied people. She likes to play with them. I'm all about it. It doesn't bother me. I understand that. But what you will not do is act like I am less important than these people you want to play with. You will not create long-term relationships with them, which is anything more than a week to me. We made rules.
It could be a totally sexual thing, but not an emotional,
yes,
emotional affair.
That's how polyamory works. When you're gonna have it, you have to have the most respect for the base partner. And she has no respect for me when it comes to this, Your Honor. She's had exes that she's texted. She's held on to a lot, you know, and I'm respectful. I ask questions, but I let her do basically whatever the hell she wants. And
That's not true.
now
I'm doing so much more.
I'm just asking for the basics and the opportunity.
I got you. I know what's going on. Mrs. Torres, I'm gonna ask you, get a last comment from you, and then I'm gonna say a few things.
Okay.
Do you think Angel and Kia can save their marriage? Share your opinion on Twitter and Instagram at Divorce Court. Divorce Court will be right back. Mrs. Torres, what can Mr. Torres do to get this thing back in the place it was before he left 2 months ago?
I am not a skilled enough psychologist to answer that question, Your Honor, because there's some damage been done. And I think that we would have to actively put effort into that. But it would start back with like us just communicating. I mean, we're really good at communicating. And I like to see how things progress because I feel like there had to have been a misunderstanding for him to even leave in the first place. So we need to get back to square one and create a foundation for ourselves. And I'm not really sure how to do that.
Mr. Torres, this is what I think your problem is currently and how you would go about solving it.
Okay.
She's angry and hurt about the leaving.
Yeah.
And then when you came back saying, this is how it needs to be, without acknowledging, I hurt her, whatever, and that you weren't in a position to give an ultimatum.
No.
You weren't in a position to do that. You want to come back and say, listen, I love you, I want you, I understand what I did was wrong and I hurt you, but I'll do whatever I can to make it okay with you again. But you're not in a position to demand because she's still hurt and angry. And coming in demanding isn't going to get you what you want. It's going to get you more contention than it is. If you two are as compatible as I believe you are, she gave you what you needed to do, which is start with that conversation, with that comfort and that caring and that talking. Yes, she's got this other woman on the side. It is not fun to think about, but that's just not your issue right now. Your issue is reconnecting with her. And you can't get mad because you built this house. See what I'm saying? You built this house. Now you can tear it down, but it's gonna be a conversation, not an ultimatum. You with me?
Yeah.
You with me?
Yeah, I agree.
You're a wonderful couple. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And don't mess up a long-term good thing for a short-term hot thing. I'm just saying.
I won't.
Long-term, meaningful, it's hard to come by. Don't sell it short. This matter is adjourned.
I am willing to do whatever it's going to take to save my relationship. I'm ready to be open and talk and accept the mistakes I've made. I'm just ready for her to come home, whatever I got to do to get her to come home.
I'm willing to move forward and we can get couples therapy and I'll move in. I'll come to the apartment with you.